Alright, today we're going to be working on some marimba notes, or marimba notes, pieces. Marimba pieces. And we're using basically an old bed headboard. I cut it up into pieces that I could use. It's a piece of old maple. You want some hardwood, something that has a nice good grain. I'll show you here. Nice straight grain, see that? Straight grain, beautiful stuff, awesome. No knots. You could do it with knots if you want. Everything resonates. But the harder it is, the more, I don't know, the louder the sound it is, I guess. It won't be a soft sound, it'll be a harder sound. So, this is basically what we're going to do, is cut these things. Okay, so I got my pieces cut up here, as you can see. The thickness really doesn't matter much. But if you want to know, I shaved it down to about 5/8 of thickness. This is a little thicker when it started, which I like to keep thick because when I'm using a spoke shave, which I do here, it's nice to have a lot more to clamp onto and as you're digging into this. Because basically what you're going to want to do is dig in to the note, and the more you dig into here, the lower the note it's going to be because of the way it vibrates. That's just basically the way the physics of the wood works. Yeah, so the thinner this is, the heavier this becomes, and because of that, the wave is deeper basically, so it gives you a deeper sounding note, which we'll see here. This is basically after you've shaved it down, you'll be able to listen to what note you're doing. So you shave a little more, maybe even sand it down some more with a belt sander or whatever. Anyway, so you take the spoke shave on your piece, and you want to leave a little bit on each side, and just like shave in the middle. So basically you just do this. And you just keep going. You can test it out after a while, but let yourself dig a lot before you test it out, because it might not sound good if it's not thin enough, and you might think you're not doing a good job. So, I forgot to mention as well that I think it's better that there's like long grain, basically, so the grain is like continuous. There's no knots in the wood. But I don't really think that'll matter if it still sounds. Like, you might have some wood that you can have knots in, and if it still sounds great, then that's fine. Even I'll show you here, like these pieces, there's like hole in there. This is not a perfect, flat end as well, but it still sounds. And now this thing here that I have is just suspended on elastic bands, and that helps it to just reverberate without disturbing the. Okay, so you notice that's high. I haven't shaved this down yet to the 5/8 like this one here. It's not which way I'm going to do, and you'll hear the difference. I'll just cut that right in. So here we go with out, and it's high as well because it's so thick. It's not allowed to reverberate a lot or have slower reverberations. So this is the piece after it's been shaven to 5/8. Sounds a lot better. I'm going to bring every other piece pretty close to what this is before I start fine-tuning them. So now I'm going to be finding out where all these keys are, because they're all over the place, and then trying to find a spot where I guess what scale would be best to work these, because you don't want to choose something that's way too high, and then you want to choose something that's fairly close to what these are. So I've got here a guitar tuner. That should be enough. You could also get apps for phones, like guitar tuner apps. Any type of tuner that'll catch sound and give you the frequency. I'll let you know what's going on here. Okay, so I'm just going to test those. That's an F, beautiful. Close to a G, so it already looks like it's a good start for an F scale. Let me get the next one up. Let's go to an A. Perfect. Beautiful. Looks like it's already chosen for me here. A sharp. I could probably bring that up. Which is a B flat. Which It's a little sharp, so I have to bring this one down a bit. This is good. So it's a B flat. And that's even lower. Okay. Oh, and even lower. So these ones have to come up even more. We're going back down to an A. Holy smokes. So yeah, they're gonna have to be cut. Now basically to bring these up, instead of shaving down here, which brings the note down, you want to start shaving on the sides, getting weight off of the ends, because the more weight you get off the ends, the less it has to push back and forth, which you could vibrate faster basically. Alright, so those are A's, and then these ones here, we got a C. It's a tough note to find out. Sounds like a D. Which doesn't have to go too far up for an F. So, okay, well I'm happy with the F. Okay, and also what I've done too is, after I've dug these out, I basically sanded around, made them pretty close to what I want them before I finally make the last thing of tuning it, because I don't want to touch it much after that. It might change the sound too much. Yeah, so I gave it a good shave, or a good sand to smoothen them out. And it doesn't take too much to tune them. Like meaning when you have to bring it down and bring it up, it's just little shavings. Like when you have to. I'm going to give you an example of this one because it's a little out. To bring it a little bit higher, I shaved just about that much, and it brought it at half. Well, it's a noticeable difference, but it's not much that you have to take off type deal. Right now with this note, it's a little bit above the A sharp, or more properly for the musicians out there, a B flat. So I have to bring it down. So what I'm going to do right now, shave it underneath here. Not too much, just a little bit. A little bit at a time, you don't want to go too far. And that's it right there. Test it out. Okay, maybe a little more than that, alright. Too much, we'll see. But it's always adjustable. Not very much closer, just a bit more. Just a bit more. Yep. And there you have it. Mark it. This one's an A. Ooh. A sharp, right? Yes. It's funny, the guitar tuner says A sharp when it should be a B flat. B flat. That's what it is. Awesome. So now that they're all tuned and sanded, we're just going to do one last test to make sure things are okay. Right on. Okay. So the next step is to, well, in my sense here, I have a beeswax that I've made. It has beeswax, hemp oil, and some lemon oil. You could put some orange oil in there as well. But it's my own mix that I put together. It's all organic. It's only those 3 ingredients. Basically just put them on, and I'm going to test them afterwards as well, because the wax might change the sound as well, so there might be some more tuning that needs to happen there as well. So anyways, I just put the wax on. Changes nice to see what happens to these. Because there's some good protection in case you're at a party and somebody spills that drink on there, and you're like, hey man, no problem, it's waxed. going to be doing this to all of them. So that's all there is to this. Also, if you're looking at getting some wax, I'll have some on the website as well. So just go check that out. You don't need to make it, I made it for you. And there you have it. So this next step is pretty important. We got to find out where to drill the holes in the notes. Why? Because we have to hold this where it's not moving when it vibrates. Because when the sound vibrates, this thing goes up and down, the edge goes up and down, the edge goes up and down, but somewhere there's a node where the wave doesn't move at all. And when you drill a hole there and it holds it there, then it's not disturbing the vibration of the note. So to find that, here's a little trick. You have to take some very, very fine sand or fine salt, anything that's like very, very granular. This is not very fine at all, like it should be a lot finer than this. And also did a mistake. I shouldn't have waxed the notes right away, because the wax kind of sticks to this as well. So I'm putting it in the general area. It's still going to work there, but not as well. Putting it in the general area of where I think it's going to be, and then what happens is when you hit it, everything vibrates except for that spot, and the salt comes right to the spot that you want to bring it to. So, but I'm going to gently do it because it's going to shake too much, right? Just keep doing it. It might take a little bit. Yeah, it's starting to form right there. And you could see, like, as you hit it too, you can see where it's not even moving as well. So it doesn't have to all of it clump. You could actually see the line where nothing's moving. And sometimes it's crooked. Like over here, we've got something like this. So when you drill it, you're going to want to drill it on an angle as well. And this one's going this way as well here. I'm going to keep hitting it to make sure. Observe what's happening. Okay, so that's the general area. You're going to want to put right there, and you put a little mark on the side to about here. And for this one too, it's looking like that. And a good way to test it, what is that, blacks? I'm going to do it again on this side. That doesn't seem to be moving from there. So it looks like it's going to have to be held here to about here. Okay, so now we have the final product. It took me a couple tries to get the base done. This is basically just a simple frame. I wanted to make it as simple as possible because you don't need anything that complex. Simple frame, but it tapers down here, and the taper follows the holes that you made in the notes. And then what I did was I took for these little stands here, I cut little pieces of 1/8 plywood and just stuck them in, like put little slot holes and then just glued them in type deal. And it's just suspended. Now the thing is, you want to make sure that it's not too snug, not too tight, because the notes aren't going to sound. You have to give them space to, I guess, breathe, so that they're suspended freely, basically. Also made these little sticks here. Simple, just cut yourself a piece of wood, like a branch, and then put a hole in it and put a piece of dowel, stick it in there, and it's beautiful. Nice. So yeah, and well, I guess the last thing to say would be like it doesn't really matter if the notes are different lengths, as long as you're getting that tone. It's professional. Nobody's gonna say, well, people are gonna say, hey man, how come your notes are not like you all equal and stuff? Well, you're just gonna have to put up with that.